And Yemi Idowu joins us this morning. He's the chairman of Nigeria Academical Sports Committee. That's NASCOM. Morning, and thank you for coming on today.
Good morning.
Well, so many acronyms that existed in time past, and when they come back, some wonder, okay, let's see, how do they catch up? What does this one mean? But could you give us a background? NASCOM, what do they do? What is it about?
NASCOM has 5 key mandates. One of them basically is to improve the funding for grassroots sports at the school level, to coordinate the activities of all the stakeholders, and also to enhance talent discovery at that level.
Okay, so that means that you'll be going to local government areas to see how you can improve sports at that stage, at the grassroots level?
I think the best way I can try and maybe describe a framework.
Yeah.
We're like the way you have a CBN.
Okay.
We're not really an operator. So we're more at the policy level, driving, strategy, but implementation is done by our key stakeholders. So you have the NSSF, Nigerian School Sports Federation. You have Youth Fund, which you know, and the grassroots department of the Ministry of Sports, and many other, grassroots organizations, including the schools as an entity. The common denominator of what we have at that level are the schools. So most of the kids in formal education will be under NSSF. People not necessarily under formal tuition might be under Youth Fund and a few of the other stakeholders.
Yeah, I like to imagine that part of the challenge, or what the policy may seek to address, is for us to get good talent at a good age.
Yes.
Such that they could there for a while and win laurels for this country. Does the policy touch on any such thing, and how do you go about such with a view to seeing that it really works out?
Okay, there are 2 things I want to try and put together for you here. First of all, if you're looking for talent, one of the first things you must do is to increase the talent pool that you're fishing from. Okay, and if you increase your talent pool, your likelihood of getting talent is improved. Especially when you're talking about physical, technical, and maybe sports that require, or activities that require some form of organizational support.
Okay.
The second thing is that if you're going to attract the children to participate in sports, you've got to start early. You've got to make it exciting. And we've not done this in the past. And you also do not want to specialize. You want to make it exciting, like I said, and you find ways of, getting the interest of kids. So the common denominator of what we are dealing with here is the school unit. So within the school unit, what they're selling is education. That education has a curricula, and the curriculum itself has individual subjects. So you now say that a subject within the curricula is the physical education as a subject. And so the subject has a curriculum. And we are now saying that, okay, physical education has failed as presented. Not because the stakeholders are not doing the work, but because the market has moved. So if you're selling something and the market has moved, you've got to go back and research and say, okay, what is the problem? So that's what we have done. We found that there are many, many people, both in government and out of government, that work very, very hard, but they're fetching water with the basket. They're not really achieving what the kind of output for the amount of effort they're putting in. So we said, okay, what is the issue here? The problem you're having is that you're not attracting the kids. It's not exciting because there's Nintendo, there's PlayStation, there's all these things. So in Lagos, where most of my work was before I came to NASCOM, we realized this. So we came up with many, many activities, and one of the activities which I am in charge of is the Lagos Junior League in Lagos. And that's what we were doing before we got involved with the national level. And we found out that people at the national level, actually, they are working very hard. But they're saying, okay, fine, we want people from private sector and public sector to cooperate so we can drive this mission. Especially the Minister of Sports right now. If you notice, it's not by coincidence you're seeing that teams are are better sponsored. You know, some successes are coming. All these things, you know, is as a result of more effort being put at the organizational and the grassroots level. So the policy decision now is that the kids who are in school, who perhaps are not being attracted to participate in sports, we have come up with a program called Rhythm and Play, which is driven by dance, music, pop culture, and all these things, which will allow you to compete with Nintendo, PlayStations, and many other things. So when a child is going to be having PE in school, you are now going to be offering him a choice of you know, activities he can do under Rhythm and Play. And even the name itself attracts the child, you know, at the school level. So this policy is going to be launched, or activity is going to be launched on Thursday by the President in Abuja.
Okay, so are we to look forward to a time where, in terms of organization, when maybe this junior league and other grassroots sports or school sports are organized, we could see a proper template, sponsorship, attendance, the fanfare, such that if we get it right at that stage, it just should, in this case, just trickle upwards to the national stage?
Yes, that's what should happen. One of the first things you need to understand is that you want kids to enjoy sports.
Yeah.
Once you enjoy sports, if one or two kids are good at sports, you can take them to elite sports level, and then hopefully they should be able to compete for the country. Now, you need to agree one thing: you can't win everything. So once you start saying that my objective is to get kids to start participating and enjoying sports, and my objective is not trying to win everything, you're actually more likely to start winning something, rather than saying I have to win at all costs at underage competitions and things like that, which has not worked well for us.
Do you think that we'll get to this stage where, because we know countries like Spain, Brazil, some of these countries, when they see the challenge they have in, say, football, they go back, come up with a national plan and say, look, this is the plan we should work with, such that at the end of the day, years to come, you see that plan manifesting and then success, results coming. Do you think sometime, at some stage, we will get to this stage with some of these policies coming through?
We should, but I need to maybe add something to what you said. When you see countries like Spain and Brazil achieving results, it's not because they went back to go and look at what they're doing. This is as a result of what they've been doing for years. It's just that maybe they've not been winning, and they recognize one thing, that you do very well and you participate at the elite level. Okay, sometimes you do not win. Doesn't mean you have not done well. Okay, the next thing is that they recognize that it is not how much equipment or how much money you've put in that basically delivers the results. It is the amount of human resource and dedication, teamwork, honesty that has been applied to an endeavor that brings results. Spain doesn't win everything. Brazil doesn't win everything. But they're famous for one or two particular sports. But when you come below the elite level and you start looking at the next level, you find that they're very active at volleyball, baseball, athletics and everything at a very decent level. They will always be able to present a team, you know, but you will have a few people that are elite. We need to get to that level whereby a lot of people are participating at the sub-elite level, and you get 1 or 2 or 3% of your people who are excelling. And then you now have a greater mass at the lower level who are all actively participating in sports. It's actually going to be good for the country itself.
And this is, of course, beyond football.
Yes, it's beyond football, because what happens is that what makes a good sportsman? Dedication, honesty, determination, teamwork. These are things you need, not just in sports, but at all points. So you can take football, you can take sports, you can take the general public at large and everything. If someone has a particular trait while he's, you know, participating in sports, in all his other endeavor in his life, he will also do the same thing, whether he's taking exams or whether he's queuing up somewhere or whether he's doing something in the, you know, with his family or his friends or whatever. That usually translates.
And this is supposed to be across the country.
Yes, if you start now with the kids, hopefully in 5 years' time, 6 years' time, all the things will start translating into the next level, you know, into higher education, into the universities, into professional life, you start seeing changes basically because you're trying to fix some of these problems at the lower level.
What kind of response do you get from parents?
Parents are very happy because if you look at what we're doing now, it's actually going to be driven by the parents. Because while we talk about the schools and the sports, the common denominator of sports also at the organizational level is the inter-house sports. And you have the PTA playing a greater role. So when I have meetings with parents, usually what comes is I say, oh, we don't have money, we don't have this, we don't have that. You have a few elite schools that have all this type of infrastructure in place. But the public schools don't have that kind of infrastructure. So the kind of support we're giving to them is we're saying to them that, look, you don't need lots of money to do this. You can take materials, like maybe used tires, plastics, cardboard boxes. You can make games. Just get on a AstroTurf, create games, create things that make the children stretch, run. You can play golf. You can do calisthenics. You can dance. For example, one of the activities is dance for rhythm and play. Play music, dance, and you can take a game of golf which might be normally not interesting, add some dance to it, change the rules a bit, use multicolored golf balls, run around, and you get all the kids doing something. We just want the children, sweating, jumping, dancing, doing something useful.
I mean, doing this kind of thing, you require venues,
yes,
sports centers. What do you think? I mean, from what you've seen, any concrete steps being taken to provide some of these areas where they can go for these activities?
I think we know we don't have the resources to provide sports centers for everybody. Yeah. So we now need to be innovative and say, look, I don't have a golf course. I don't have a tennis court. So no problem, I'll get a wall, I'll paint the wall, and I'll get a ball, a tennis ball and a racket with a boy, and he'll knock it against the wall. That's enough. I don't have a large pitch, so no problem. I get some used tires, I paint it, I label them 1, 2, 3 up to 9, I structure them, get the child to jump up and down, I get a piece of rope, I'll tie it up, and I'll get children, pulling up and down and doing all sorts of things. At the end of the day, they'll be sweating, they'll be tired, you've achieved your objective. You don't really need so many sports centers. That's what NASCOM is doing. We are going to change the dynamics, we're going to change the way things are being done.
But the physically challenged are not left out, are they?
No, the physically challenged are not under us, but I think the same philosophy is being driven from the Ministry of Sports.
Okay. All right. All the best then. Yemi Idowu is the chairman, Nigeria Academical Sports Committee, known as NASCOM. Thank you for coming on this morning.